What's up? Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. PC Monk here with another Bitcoin video. In this video, obviously, we want to talk about the boring weekend we had and then some possibility of a pump for today, Monday. Bitcoin, and all in all, showing signs of recovery. Now, let's jump and talk about, first of all, what happened on the weekend, and then we'll continue to talk about what happened, what will we think is about to happen. So let's take a look at the weekly, guys. First thing first, all right, we could see, and this is only with what do you know? This is only with smart money concept, okay? As you guys could see, there's no any bullish divergence, hidden bullish divergence, nothing of that sort. What we see in here, we usually, I mean, this is showing signs of recovery, right? Or it could be fooling us. But on weekly, it really doesn't look that good. Okay, so this week last week, we went at least around 27.5, and then we got denied and we came back down. Now this week, I don't know if you guys, remember these kind of dojis, or like another week of we're gonna come down at least around maybe 24.5, and then we come back all the way up. We make another doji like this, but the wick is to the downside. I forgot what these dojis are called, hammerstone, something like that. It's been a long time I didn't use these, but I've seen this pattern a lot on like lower time frames. Now, if I see it, I'll show you guys. But now let's just jump into our daily. So if you guys remember 3 days ago, I think it was on Friday that we had this on Wednesday. So this formed on Tuesday, and on Wednesday we started to dump, right? And then it followed by Sunday, and this is Saturday, and this is Sunday. So Sunday we dumped, and then this is Monday, new week. We are holding. As you can see, where we are holding is essentially this looks like a bullish structure to me, and we're holding above it. We don't want to come down. It has to hold here. This is part of the momentum, not the momentum, but the recovery signs that we're seeing. Obviously, the 4 hour is about to end in another minute or so, a couple of minutes. This is actually an important 4 hour. So in the 4 hour, as we could see, I've talked about this a lot. Let's put our trend lines back in place. Now, I've talked about this a lot, guys. Talked about if we hit here, let me just draw this one all the way. So if we hit this dotted yellow line, this probably would not hold anymore and things like that. And I'm still thinking the same. So that's why we are holding a little bit above it, as you guys could see. Right now, I'll get to the bearish scenarios too. Don't forget that Bitcoin overall, it's kind of weak, okay? But uh, yeah, so it's kind of holding above it right now. And with that being said, we still have to fill this fair value gap, which is 25.2 around here. So we could see another sweep to the lows, come back down, sweep this area, get all the longs, stop loss, whatever you name it, and then pick it back up. And if that happens, then we could say that we might just gonna see 28K today. Now, obviously, if we break this green line, I would say break this green line, or this navy blue horizontal line, and then we're gonna hit this discount level. The discount level is around 24.8. If we hit the discount level, then it's gonna be a kind of a triple bottom here. uh, you know if we want to say this is the first bottom, this is the second bottom, and then we're gonna have another bottom. So triple bottoms, they usually end up going up, but we could essentially be looking at it in a different way. So how would I look at it in a different way? I'll go in a little bit lower time frame. So on the 3 hours, as we could see, the 3 hour is literally at the extreme zone, or oversold, you would say, and it needs to come up a little bit, right? And on the candlesticks, as we could see, and I think the 4 hour just finished. We'll take a look at it, but the candlestick, This one at least needs to, go a little bit higher, make an engulfing candlestick pattern. So we could say that we might be able to go higher. And this is on the 3 hour. I'm talking about only candlestick patterns right now. Uh, and let's go to a lower time frame. Obviously, the low, if we break this area, doesn't matter if it's a 3 hour or 4 hour. If we break this area, we definitely gonna see, I think we're gonna see either a double bottom at 25.3, 20, I'm sorry, 24.3, or we could hold at 24.5. Okay, that's a possibility. 24.5, 24.6. I'm rooting for that level as well. But if we fail to hold this, essentially the double bottom, then we definitely gonna come lower, maybe 23.8. All right. Now, if we go on the 1 hour time frame, we've talked about this scenario a lot. So what made us think that we're bullish in the first place was because we, made a low, then we made a higher high than this high, and then we made a higher low than this low, right? Then we started to make these higher lows, higher lows. We essentially went into a parallel upwards channel until here. As you guys remember, I've said this is a descending triangle. They usually end up dumping. It did dump, but not as much as we thought, but we never came back to retest this support line of this parallel channel, right? That being said, then we took another leg down and we came back all the way here. Coming in here, we actually created a new discount level, all right? And we have to, essentially, we filled this gap around here, as you guys can see. So what right now remains is this is a 1 hour candle, okay? Now on a 1 hour candle, you might want to say, uh, this doesn't look bullish, and I agree with you in some sorts, and I don't agree with you in others, some sorts. But what I want to say is we exited this upward parallel channel, we made a new low, and then we made a new low. All right, that's true, but still we didn't break this low. That's important. All right, now even if we break this low, then we could still come around here and hold it. And even holding it here, we would make a new higher low, right? So until we break this, we can't say that this is definitely bearish. We have to break this one, and then come back down. And then we could say it's bearish, and then we'll see what happened there. But right now, that's what it is. Now, let's take a look at the Dixie and then take a look at the liquidities and then come back and talk more about Bitcoin. So Dixie is holding this area, all right? It's holding this area, but it's giving us a sign. It's giving us that it's getting a little bit weaker, as you guys could see. It's, struggling to go higher and break this and go around the 106. That could say we might see, uh, a dump. We might see a dump. One thing that actually caught my eyes right now is this. So if we draw a trend line, okay, together like this needs to be a little bit better. Yeah. I don't know if you guys get where I'm going. This does look like a ascending triangle, something like this. Don't you guys agree with me? I mean, they are not always playing out, but this looks like a ascending triangle. So what makes this bullish? Essentially, if we break this premium zone, which is 105,776. Now, let me show, before we go to the fundamentals, I want to show you guys something. And keep in mind, RSI is showing signs of weakness with this move, right? So what I want to show you guys is the same pattern on Bitcoin, only a little bit maybe smaller on the time frame. Okay, yeah, there you go. It's actually can be seen on the 1 hour. You see, this is the ascending wedge as well. I'm sorry, not ascending wedge, ascending triangle. All right, but that didn't work out. We dumped. We exited the support. We never retested it completely. And right here, we just grabbed the liquidity around here, double top, break it down, right? So these ascending triangle or descending triangles, they don't tend to work all the time. But on the 1 hour right now, we are seeing some signs of bullishness in the volume. All right, now let's take a look at the liquidity. So funding rate, there's nothing much to talk about. Bitcoin is safe for now for funding rate. It's increasing to the normal funding rate. All right. So the heat map in here, as you guys could see, Bitcoin is not, at the, top tree right now. XRP is the one, first one. But here is the important part that I want to talk to you guys. So this is Binance liquidation only. Okay. Now, let's just take a look at our chart here. We have to what? We have to break this one, right? So this is 25.1. Let's come back here and let's take a look at our 25.1. All right, so only on Binance, it's 100 million, around 200. It's not that much. Now, to the upside, I think if we want to go to the upside, obviously, I don't want to go into details right now, okay? We'll come back to this. But if we want to go up, we first have to break this 27.5, and then we have the weekly high that we have not yet taken out, which is this one. Okay, 28.1. And if you take down 28.1, there is a chance to hit 29.4. Now, that being said, let's take a look at here. So first we need to take down that 27.9, 28.1. Let's just see where the liquidity is. So to the upside, if we completely go up, it's 300 million. So we have more liquidity to the upside. Now the same as here. This is more than one exchange. Now let's just check the levels. 25.1 right here essentially is 500 million to 27.8 is 1 billion. So it's double the amount. That makes us think that we could go higher based on liquidity, all right? But this is not the only tool we use. Now let's take a look at this heat map. This heat map shows that there's a lot lying around the 26.8 still, all right? And there's some lying around 27.1. Obviously, there could be more upside or to the downside, but keep in mind this is a 3-day, and I could put it to like maybe 24 hours. It will show us a little bit more. And as you guys could see, this is the liquidity we have. Essentially to the bottom is kind of empty, right? And Bitcoin took this one, which was the biggest one. Maybe it wants to take this one too, 25.8. It's possible. And then we go back up. We'll have to see. But I think to the upside is where the most liquidity is, and the other one is my YouTube channel. Okay, so let's get back to this. So I've talked about that higher lows and everything, and even so, if we push it to the upside from here, then we could safely say we made a great higher low than this one, right? It dumped, it held it at a very good place as well. So if this holds, and essentially any pump that comes above this, right? Any pumps that comes above this, so around here, will show us that uh, the up move is incoming. Yeah. So and then London session will show us maybe in another 2 hours, since the London session just begun. It's a couple of, I think it's 2 hours. I'm not sure. But now let's talk about the possibilities. Now we've talked about the fundamentals. Keep in mind, guys, VIX is still volatile, so probably we're gonna have see some volatility in the market, stock market. I want to talk about this a little bit faster. It's already 13 minutes. So to the upside, the first thing we need to break, obviously I've talked to you guys about the small levels, but I now want to talk about the major levels we have to break. The first major level is to regain this parallel channel. So maybe the first pump will not stop around here, will literally come inside this. All right, and then we start to consolidate above it, and then we push it above. We go higher. That's what I think is about to happen. So the rest of the scenarios, the smaller scenarios, yeah, obviously we could come here, consolidate, and then go here. That's a possibility too, but let's just take a look at the bigger picture, which is to come here and hold this area. So essentially hold 27.3. If you do this and then you push it higher, then voila, we got it. We're gonna go high. But if you don't, what happened then? So first bearish scenario, all right, is if we have actually a good volatility, we come get denied at this support, come back down, and then when we come back down, we essentially have to slice this and go lower. So where is lower? Obviously this trend line, 25.1, right? And this 25.1 is the last hope for the Bulls. Let me tell you that. If this loses, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get at least a 7% drop, N- and even more, even more. So from here, a 7% drop would essentially goes through this all the way to 22.8. All right, all the way to 22.8, essentially around this this white bearish trend line. Okay, so that's what I think is going to happen when we lose this. But obviously we could stop here, we could stop here, we could consolidate here for a little bit. This is at kind of a major level as well. It really depends from where we dump. Okay, but if we come here and lose this, then we could see this. I'm sorry, if we come here and lose this, then we could see this. But if we essentially, there's one more bearish scenario is we keep consolidating around the above of this dotted yellow line, and then finally we break it through. So if we break this through, then I would say where we stop would be that 23.8. Hopefully you guys picking up what I'm throwing. So that's it. That's all I want to say, guys. I mean, there's way more, bullish scenarios, but I've talked to you about everything I think is gonna happen. And yep, with that being said, stay safe, stay green, guys. Just to conclude, okay, we want to break up, break 27.3, regain 27.3, break 28.1, 27.9, go to that 29.4. Break 25.1, you might see 23.8, or you might see 22.9. All right, and if we break, like I said, if we break around 25.8, we most likely will see 23.8. I don't think we're gonna do a double bottom, but usually on the Mondays there's a fake pump happen. And now let's take a look at the SPX at the end of our thing. SPX have been dumping and dumping, and as you guys can see here, this is a sign of the bears getting a little bit weaker, and it's giving time for the bulls to pick it back up. And that would be it, guys. Unfortunately, my last video was on SPX because I was checking it. So yeah, and with that being said, stay safe, stay green. Until next time, bye. And I think we're gonna go up today.